Hello you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a all questions answered updates for 2024 type of video. I kept getting DMs or comments on other videos being like, wait, what's going on? So I decided let's just have a chat and I'm gonna give you all the updates. I asked my Instagram, what do you wanna know? What have I not shared enough about? And so this is gonna be answering all the questions that I haven't answered yet or I haven't answered before. This is actually a mix of a cherry limeade poppy and a Sprite Zero. And then I have a bunch of the questions written down. Let me turn on my candle warmer lamp. Okay, now we're really vibing, so cheers. And let's just get started. I'm gonna put timestamps in the description box, so if you're looking for something specific, you can just go and reference it. Unsurprisingly, a lot of the questions are about different aspects of the upcoming move this year. So I'm gonna do those first because by far the most questions were about that. Totally understand. I've been confused about it myself. So if you are new to following me or you're new to my content and you have no idea what I'm talking about, my husband is from Scotland and we're moving there this year. I currently live in Virginia. I live in Arlington, which is part of Nova. I was born and raised in Southern Virginia. So Virginia girl born and bred, and I'm moving to Scotland with my husband this year. He's from Aberdeen, but we're moving to Edinburgh. It's been a long time coming. I can't even remember the first time I started telling you guys about this plan because we've always had this plan. For the 4 years that we've been together, we knew at some point we were gonna do this. And so over my last couple of years of creating content, I've talked about it a bunch, but then like last fall, I think I told you guys, okay, it's actually happening. We're making the plans, like there's a date. Lots of questions about that. So let's just get into it. I got asked a bunch of times what our plans are for moving our dog Fergus abroad. So we have a 6-month-old golden retriever puppy. His name is Fergus and he's adorable. So I was already familiar with the process even before I knew I would be doing this because I have friends who have moved abroad with pets. I have a family member who moved abroad with a pet. Actually, they moved back to the US with a pet. So I already kind of knew what the process was. Basically, it's two-part. You have to make sure they are medically cleared to go to the country that you're traveling to or moving to. Every country has different requirements. For us, he has to get a couple of different vaccines and he has to pass some tests. Like he has to pass a rabies test and things like that. So that's part of it and you have to work with a veterinarian to do that. And then he also has to be cleared to enter the country. It's almost like he has to have a doggy passport. If you have a veterinarian who's used to that process, they can help assist you with all of that. And I already know what veterinarian we're going to. My dad is a veterinarian, actually. He doesn't live here. He lives in my hometown. But one of his former associates actually has a practice up here. And so I've known this person for literally my entire life. And they have a practice up here and they do a lot of international moves with pets. So I already know who I'm going to. And then the other part of it is actually transporting Fergus from Virginia to Scotland. There's a bunch of different ways you can do that. He's a golden, so he's going to be quite big. He's 6 months and 60 pounds now. So by the time we move, he will probably be close to full size. Obviously can't take him on board with us. I believe if you have a dog small enough to fit in a carrier that can go into your seat, like a carrier that's the size of a personal item, you can just bring your pet on board with you. I have known friends who have traveled with their cats that way. Obviously he's too big for that. A lot of airlines won't even take large pets as cargo, and I didn't want to just ship him as cargo. So there's a couple different things you can do. What we're doing is hiring a company that specializes in moving pets abroad, and they handle all of the logistics. So they book directly with airlines. An employee travels with the pet, and like the pet is traveling in a travel safe crate. It's in a like temperature controlled part of the plane. It's not just like down with the suitcases. So an employee travels with them. If there's a long layover, which we're hoping there won't be, but there might be a layover in Germany. If there is, an employee is there and they can get the dog, get Fergus like out of the crate and take him to the bathroom, give him some food and everything. If it's a direct flight, that's ideal because it'll be an overnight flight and Fergus is very well crate trained already. Usually you give dogs a mild sedative when you fly with them. So if it's an overnight flight and he has a sedative, he sleeps so much and he's very well crate trained. So I think it's going to be fine, especially because we're working with this company and they have additional services too. Like they help make sure that all of your documents are in order. They have a bunch of services I don't think we're going to use. Like in some instances you can pay to have them pick your pet up from your current address, board them while you travel to the other country, and then the pet travels, and then they can even deliver your pet to your new address. I don't think we're gonna be doing all of that, but that's the type of service this company offers. I will let you guys know more details about the company, like the name of it, once we've actually used them. I don't want to give you a recommendation before I've actually had experience with the company. There are loads of companies that do this though. Like if you just Google International Pet Travel Company, so many different options come up. We did a ton of research before we even brought Fergus home. We had done like all of this research and knew what our plan was going to be. Loads of reviews online as well. One of the reasons why we've been like so intentional with Fergus's training already, like from the second he got home, is because we knew eventually we were going to be taking this move and we want it to be as stress-free as possible for him. I don't think he's going to have a problem with it, honestly. He is a very like well-tempered, calm, not calm, he's like high energy, but he is not an anxious dog whatsoever. So we're doing everything we can to minimize any stress. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a pretty painless process. Another question is just, why are you moving? I got that one a lot actually. I'm moving to Scotland because my husband is from Scotland and we decided a long time ago that we would move there together. And also a lifelong dream of mine has been to live outside of the US at some point in my life. So we're very well aligned on that, and we always have been. Like pretty much from the moment that we knew our relationship was going to be serious, like before we had gotten engaged, but we knew we were going to get engaged and we were having those types of really long-term discussions, we already knew this was going to be part of the plan. It's my dream. He wants to go back to his home country, obviously, so it works out really well on both sides, and I'm really excited that we're finally doing it. I'm scared, but I'm really, really excited, and I'm gonna be bringing you guys along for every single part of it. Filming these makes me realize how much I talk with my hands, which I'm not aware of in my day-to-day life. And now I'm aware of it because I can see myself in the viewfinder. What are the logistics of a big move like this? How do you actually move all of your stuff? So yeah, fair question. I think I've just known a lot of people who have moved overseas. Like one of my brothers is in the military and his family has been stationed in a few different countries. I've had some friends who are first generation and their parents have moved back, things like that. So I do feel a little bit lucky because I've witnessed this process a couple times before in other people's lives, so I had an understanding of it already. Basically, you just ship your stuff, like you rent a shipping container, you rent space on a cargo ship, and you ship your stuff across the ocean. And yeah, you pay for the container, so as long as your stuff fits in the container, you don't pay extra, like depending on the amount of stuff you have. I guess if you were moving a full house, maybe you would. But we have a 2-bedroom apartment and we're getting rid of a bunch of our furniture before we leave. So even though we have stuff, it's not gonna be like a ton, honestly. The biggest things that we're shipping, like physically the largest things we're shipping our mattress. We're not taking our bed frame. We're not taking our couch. We are not taking our TV. So the mattress is physically the largest thing we're taking. We are bringing my 2 desks, our table and our 2 chairs, our mattress, and our dresser. And then honestly, apart from that, probably the most space is gonna be taken up by boxes of my clothes. Our personal logistics are, we are going to rent, this is another question that was in here, are you going to rent or buy when you get to Scotland? We are going to rent a furnished short-term apartment when we get there because it's gonna take a while for our stuff to ship across the ocean. They said 14 days. I don't believe that for a second. When my brother's family was stationed in Italy, it took 4 months for their stuff to get there. So I don't believe the 14 days thing at all. So we are gonna look for a short-term, like maybe 6, 8, 12-month lease in a furnished dog-friendly apartment in Edinburgh. That will give us time for our stuff to get there, and then when our stuff gets there, we're just gonna put it in a storage unit. Again, it's not gonna be that much. We're obviously gonna like take our clothes and things, put some stuff in a storage unit, and then eventually we would like to buy. We're not gonna be able to do that as soon as we get there, but in the next year or 2, we would really love to buy a home together and start to really settle down. I'm manifesting, okay? I'm manifesting a lot of things, but yeah, when we get there, we're gonna be renting. So if you know of any furnished, dog-friendly apartments in Edinburgh, let me know. We're still searching for that. When I was in Edinburgh, Most recently, which was like 2 weeks ago, we did tour a place that said they were pet friendly, and then they said pets under 15 kg, which, yeah, Fergus is gonna be like triple that. I want to quickly thank the sponsor of today's video, which is LMNT. I'm so excited to be working with LMNT again. You guys know how much I love them. I have a grapefruit LMNT right here. If you've never heard of LMNT before, it's a powdered electrolyte drink mix that you can mix in with your water. And out of everything like it on the market, LMNT is my favorite electrolyte drink mix because it doesn't have any junk in it. There's no sugar, fillers, artificial flavorings, or colors, nothing like that. It comes in a ton of flavors, which I love. I love grapefruit, raspberry, and citrus the most, but there's so many flavors. There's even hot drink flavors like mint chocolate, but my classic is always an LMNT packet in a citrusy flavor with ice and the juice of a lemon. Each LMNT packet contains a scientifically backed ratio of different electrolytes to help your body maintain and support optimal hydration. I found for myself that when I am optimally hydrated, like not just drinking plain water, but I have the right balance of electrolytes in my body, I don't get afternoon headaches or an afternoon energy crash like I usually do. I recover faster after workouts, and I have more mental clarity, like less brain fog. So I am a forever fan. I love LMNT so much, and if you would like to try it out for yourself, I'll put a link in the description box. That link will give you a free sample pack of LMNT with a purchase, so it's a great way to try out all the flavors because they seriously have so many. I love LMNT. If you want to try it for yourself, check out the link in the description box, and thank you so much, LMNT, for sponsoring this part of the video. Is there a difference in my feelings and Matt's feelings about the move? Not really. We're both really excited. I guess the difference is that obviously for Matt, he's moving home, and for me, I'm moving to a foreign country. So I'm more nervous because this is a bigger change for me, and it's going to be a culture shock, and I'm getting a spousal visa, and I've never lived outside of Virginia, so there's a lot more change happening for me, but we're both very excited. But that's probably the biggest difference. I'm just like a little bit more nervous. I also have more things to do to prepare. Like I said, I have to get my spousal visa worked out. It's crazy because we've already started this process, but our process getting Matthew his visa here, he currently has a green card. To get to that point, I just can't even begin to describe the years of red tape and bullshit that we went through, and like the setbacks and him almost having to leave the country, and there was a moment where he wasn't let back into the country because visa requirements changed while we were outside of the country for 2 weeks, and just like sleepless nights and tears and so much money spent on immigration lawyers, and it was just horrendous. And comparatively, the process for me to get mine, it's just a lot different. It feels kind of weird. Like, it feels like we just got Matt's green card, because we kind of did. And so we finished, like, you know, the visa process on this end, and then to start the visa process back up, I'm almost feeling kind of triggered because of how many obstacles and hurdles there were in Matt getting his visa. It's a little triggering to feel like to start that process back up again, but now it's me on the line. But so far so good. Everything seems to be going well so far. I'll tell you guys more about that and that process and everything once it's over. I just feel like I need to get through it right now, and then we'll chat more about that. How do you feel about possibly raising kids in a foreign country? So we're not sure if we're gonna have kids or if we wanna have kids. We both agree that that's a topic we would like to revisit in a couple of years, like maybe in our 30s. It's not something that I see on the horizon for myself in the near future whatsoever. I just know, like, I'm just not in that place in life. But we're gonna talk about it in a couple of years and then decide from there. Theoretically, like hypothetically, I feel like I would rather raise kids in the UK than raise them here, to be honest. Just differences in healthcare, education, gun laws, all of that. Yeah, I would rather raise kids in the UK than in the US if I was going to have them at all. Let me know in the comments, do you think that I should start a series of moving vlogs now where I like declutter the closet and the cabinets and start getting rid of stuff? Or should I not title them moving vlogs? Should I just include that type of content in my normal videos? Because I don't want to like draw it out. You know, I don't want to make like 50 moving vlogs because I feel like that's just being so dramatic and really drawing it out. So let me know if I should just have like segments of that type of thing in my normal vlogs, or if I should do it now and film it, but save it all and then make like really big dedicated moving vlogs closer to the time when like we actually know we're gonna be moving. Sound off in the comments, let me know. There's definitely a lot of work to be done. That's why I want to get started now, but I just like wasn't sure how you guys would best like to see that. So definitely let me know. How long has my screensaver been off? Oh, I like the background. Cute. I like having my vision board in the background. Okay, how will the move affect your job as a creator? Also related to this question, are you still in school / working outside social media / are you going to continue to study after you move? So lots of questions about my job in general, but I guess if you're newer to me and my content, you wouldn't know that. So yeah, I'm a full-time content creator. I have had 20 odd jobs in my life. I've been working since I was 13. I've had so many different jobs. My first big girl, like grown-up job after I graduated college was working as a writer and editor for the DoD. That's another reason why I moved to this area after I graduated college. So I was a writer and editor for a while, and then I quit that job 2.5 years ago. Yeah, 2.5 years ago. After I quit that job, I started doing content full time, but then I was already doing content at that point. I did content for a full year while I was still at that job before I left that job. I did content for a full year before I ever made like a penny off of it. So when I left my job as a writer and an editor, for a long time, like for a full year, I freelanced and I still did the same type of work, but obviously not under the government. I gave up my security clearance. I had a secret level security clearance. It's been so cloudy because it's been snowing so hard, you guys, but the sun just broke through. Oh, it's really pretty. Gave up my security clearance, left that job, and I freelanced writing and copy editing, like copywriting, everything under that umbrella for about a year as I did content full time. A year ago, yeah, this would have been fall 2022, I just tapered off the freelancing. I didn't really think to myself, I'm gonna stop. It just kind of tapered off because content was becoming more time consuming and I was starting to invest more into it as an actual business. Like I actually own a small business that my work as a content creator falls under. So I was starting to invest a lot more time into it from a businesswoman standpoint. And then at that time, I started pursuing the post-grad cert in editing just because education is very important to me and I don't know what my future holds. I absolutely love my job. I love content. I'm not 1,000% sure what the future holds ever. And I just feel like education is very important. So I'm not on a degree track. I think that has gotten lost in translation a couple of times because people will ask like, how's my master's degree going? I'm not on a degree track. So I'm not currently getting a master's degree. I'm doing post-grad certs, and that just basically means certificates in your field that you have to have a bachelor's degree before you can even start. And it's like continuing your education. So it's on the path. It's like grad level certs, but it's not headed towards a master's. However, if I were to apply to get a master's degree after I finish these, in some institutions I can actually take the certifications and then apply that time and apply those credits towards a master's degree. So yeah, I've always said straight up, like right up front, I'm not getting a master's degree, I'm doing post-grad certs. But I think because I've spoken a lot before about how much I would like to get a master's degree, there's been like confusion about that. But basically, said all of this to say, I currently am not writing and editing. That tapered off a year and a bit ago. I am still pursuing post-grad education in the form of these certifications. I started that in September 2022. I did the fall, did the spring. I took a break this past fall because all of the business side of my content creation career was really crazy in the fall. A couple of different projects like that I knew were gonna take up quite a bit of time and I didn't feel like I could give school my all. So I took a break in the fall. I'm back doing it now. So yes, full-time job as a content creator, pursuing post-grad certifications in my field because I feel like that would be great to have if I would like to go back to that one day. However, like I have to say, I love what I do. I love my job. I'm so grateful for it. I've been doing this full-time for over 2 years now, and I feel like every day I'm more and more finding my passion and my calling, especially since starting the podcast, especially since getting off of TikTok, especially since redefining my relationship with social media as a consumer and knowing my boundaries around like my phone addiction and things. I just feel like every day I'm feeling closer and closer to my passion. And for that reason, like, I'm very happy doing what I'm doing right now. However, I'm 25. I don't know what the future holds. I feel like social media, there is stability in social media because the platforms are going to be around. It's all about like, what will I want to be doing? What will feel right to me? Will I even be able to evolve and keep up with changing apps, changing platforms, changing trends? Like, I feel like this is two-part. One part is that I have to want to continue doing it. And then the other part is, are people going to be interested in watching me anymore? Like, I don't think I'm that special. Like, it blows my mind every day now that people choose to watch the content I put out now, because I just feel like I'm so, I don't know, like just so average. And if one day people decide they're not interested, they don't want to watch me anymore, I'd be like, yeah, totally get it. I get it. So because I don't really know what the future holds, yeah, I do think education is really important for me. But I have to say, I love what I do. And so for right now, I definitely think this is my biggest priority. And I have to say, like, especially since starting the podcast, I feel like when I did that, I just realized, like, I know this is what I should be doing right now. I feel a sense of peace with it. And I feel like I am walking in alignment with my current purpose. So the second part of that was, how is the move going to affect your job as a creator? So, great question. I wish I could say with 100% certainty. I don't know. I think the move is going to be great for actually creating content. There's going to be so many like amazing content opportunities just because, you know, it's going to be such a huge change in my life. Like, I think it's going to cause changes in me. I think it's going to be interesting to watch different parts of it. Like, I know personally, I love watching moving vlogs and like I love watching people travel. So I think when we get to Scotland, there's going to be so many opportunities for me to pursue my hobbies and my passions, like hiking, and I'm getting really into photography, and I just love being outdoorsy. And I think those things, they are personal passions and hobbies of mine, and then they will also provide content opportunities. And I've heard from a lot of you guys that you're really excited to see the move happen and to see me settle into a new place, and thank you so much. That means a lot to me. So in terms of the content side, I think it's going to be great. In terms of the business side, I'm not 100% sure. I've had so many meetings and just preparation calls with my agency, my management, everyone related to that side, because I am signed to a US agency. I'm signed to DBA. I feel very blessed to be signed to DBA. They're one of the biggest talent management agencies in the US. I think they are the original influencer talent agency. They've been around since like 2012. So I really love my agency. They are US based. So they obviously don't have as many connections or relationships in the UK. There's also just the business aspect of it. Like I said, I'm a small business owner. I will become another small business owner in the UK. I'm gonna have to learn a lot. There's gonna be a lot of learning curves, a lot of challenges. In some ways, it feels like I'm starting over, like I'm starting from scratch. So I don't have a set answer for how that's gonna go. And maybe that's not what you're interested in hearing. Like, maybe you just wanted to hear about the content and not the business part of it. But I very much consider myself to be a businesswoman. I am a businesswoman, and so that part is really important to me as well. So no matter what, the content will be coming. What it will look like on the back end for me, I don't know. I'm gonna find out. Life is an adventure. Just taking risks. We're taking the plunge. Yeah, all of that. Okay, that was a ton of moving questions, but like I said, that was definitely like the biggest category of questions that I got. So let's move on to other stuff now. What have you had done? I'm pretty sure this person means what like work I've had done and are you gonna get anything else done. So currently I've only had lip filler, Botox in my forehead, and then I also have Botox in my masseter muscle, but this I got for teeth grinding and for clenching my jaw. I originally got a night guard from my dentist and then I tore through that thing. I like ripped it to shreds. And so then I just got masseter Botox, also helping for TMJ. So that's kind of medical, but it did change the appearance of my jaw. My jaw's a little slimmer now, so I thought I'd mention it. That's the only thing I've had done. I haven't had anything else done. Sometimes I'll get nasty DMs from people accusing me of like, you've had so much work done, you've had plastic surgery and you're not telling anybody. No, I literally haven't. My weight has changed over the last couple of years. Like I said, I do think the masseter Botox changed the appearance of my face a little bit. Botox always makes your forehead look smoother. So I've always been so honest with you guys about stuff I've had done. So no, I haven't had anything else. Will I get anything else? Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say. It's tough to say. There's things I'm thinking about getting. Like there's one thing in particular, air sculpt under my chin, that I would very much like to get. And if I do get it, I'll obviously tell you guys. I think I talked about this in a vlog a while back, but I think it is the responsibility of a creator to be upfront about work they've had done, but I don't like personally consuming a ton of content about it because I don't want to influence anybody to get it done. Does that make sense? Like, I am aware that people are watching this and there are things that I think about getting done that I didn't even know existed until I saw another creator make loads of content about it. So I don't want to influence anybody to get anything done, but I do want to be upfront about stuff that I've had done. So yeah, I've thought about getting air sculpt under my chin for the last year pretty much. Basically, air sculpt is kind of like a minimally invasive form of lipo. Basically just like tightening underneath my chin. It is one of my biggest insecurities on this entire planet. I zero in on this area every single time I edit a video of myself. I see it. It's like one of those things where probably no one else is looking at it, but for me, it's like the one thing that I'm constantly zeroing in on, and because I edit video footage of myself every day, I just think about it all the time, and I think it would really greatly improve my confidence if I got air sculpt under my chin. But I don't know, because that's a much bigger deal than getting just like injectables, Botox and lip filler. It's a bigger deal. I don't know. I definitely think about it. I don't know. If I do, I'll let you know, but I probably wouldn't make like, I wouldn't vlog it probably, or make a dedicated video to it, but I would obviously tell you guys. So I don't know. Who knows? What do your tattoos mean? So I only have 2 little ones. I'll show you. They're very small, but I am actually currently hiring an artist to design a bigger tattoo for me. So I only have 2. There's this little Leo symbol. That's just because I'm a Leo, and I went to bottomless brunch with some friends for a friend's birthday back in the spring, and then afterwards we were like, should we go get tiny little tattoos? And we did, and that was it. And then my first one is this on the back of my elbow. My brother gave this to me. My brother gave this to me in my parents' basement the day after Christmas last year. And it looks like an S, and it is, S for Skinner, obviously, but it's actually a cattle brand S. And the story behind that is that my dad, who's a veterinarian, used to do only big animal medicine. He used to do only cows and horses, and he did cows for a long time. It was like what he was doing when my parents met. And to commemorate that time in his life, he had a local blacksmith make a cattle brand in the shape of an S. And it's never like been used. You guys know my parents are fully like vegans. It's never been used, but it's been hanging in our house forever. So that's what it is. I wanted to get a little tattoo because my brother was offering, and I just wasn't sure what I wanted to get, but I thought that would be such a sweet way to just like pay respects to my family. So yeah, it's a cattle brand, S. My brother's made a lot of jokes about actually just branding me with it, so love that. However, I am getting another tattoo really soon. I just hired a friend of mine who's an artist. Her name is Haley Cole. She actually designed my podcast merchandise. She did all of the illustrations for the Prologues crew necks and the tote bag, which are gorgeous, by the way. Go shop theprologuespodcast.com if you haven't yet. So she's a super talented illustrator, and I am hiring her to work on a tattoo design for me, and I'll show you guys when I get it. I'm really excited about it. That one also has like a really personal meaning. Am I quitting TikTok? I kind of did almost a year ago. I left TikTok pretty completely in March of 2023. I've spoken about it loads of times. I think I talked about it the first time in my Independent Era vlog, and I explained it really in depth. That was when I first did it. I posted on and off, kind of intermittently in 2023, but not often at all. And I don't think I posted in like a month. Don't have any plans to go back to TikTok full time. My life is better when I can't even remember the last time I opened the TikTok app. I think I opened it a while back to get a coffee shop recommendation while we were in Edinburgh. I just don't use it anymore, and my life is better when I do not scroll on the TikTok For You page and get sucked into it. And like, I was so addicted to it. It was awful. Again, it's something I've talked about loads of times, so I'm not going to reiterate all of it, but my life is better without being a TikTok user. And obviously, if I'm not a TikTok user, I can't be a TikTok creator. It was a tough decision. It was my largest platform. I guess it still is. By far my largest platform. It was the biggest source of brand deals for me. But at the end of the day, I had to make a choice that was best for my mental health and something that felt aligned with who I am in a way. And TikTok was not serving me in any, it just wasn't serving my soul. And yeah, so I left in March. And by left in March, I mean, I decided like TikTok is no longer my main platform. I'm going to emphasize my other platforms. That's when I decided to fully start the podcast. I was like, I'm not going to take brand deals on TikTok anymore, that kind of thing. Like I said, sometimes I post just intermittently whenever I feel like it, which isn't super often. I do have one video. So there was a brand deal I signed in January last year, and it was a 1-year contract with a video in January last year and then a video in January this year. So I'm asking if I can move that to Instagram, because otherwise I would have to post it on TikTok. And I think that would be weird if I like have left TikTok and then posted an ad out of nowhere, even though I mean I am contractually obligated to do so, but I'm really trying to like make sure that doesn't happen. Do you still use your Oura ring, and would you consider using it with natural cycles? A TikTok I probably would make as an update on the Oura ring, because that's where I made my first impressions video. So yes, I do still use it. I have the gold one. I really like it. I really like it. It's an excellent sleep tracker. It is not a good fitness tracker, so don't get it if you think it's going to be a 2-in-1 for you. It doesn't really track exercise at all. It kind of tracks steps. I really just use it for sleep tracking. I know a lot of people use it to track their cycle. I've heard it's great for that. I have not used it for that. I'm on birth control. I was talking about this with a friend of mine recently. I would love to get off of birth control. I really would. I've been on the pill for such a long time, and I like the pill. I really do like the pill. I like the pill I'm on. I like my experience with it. I love that it provides pregnancy protection, obviously. But I've been on it for so long that sometimes I'm like, I just wonder what I would feel like off of it. I'm kind of worried though, because part of the reason I went on the pill in the first place is because I have the worst periods, like the worst period pains, like throwing up, fainting, the worst period pains. One thing I did discover before birth control is that I switched to organic tampons, and that actually helped a lot. I think the chemicals and the non-organic tampons I was using before were like leaching into my body and giving me painful cramps. Look it up. A lot of women feel that way. It's not just me. I'm not being crazy. Like, that's a real thing. So organic tampons helped a lot, but birth control makes all pain like pretty much non-existent. And then also the biggest reason I'm on birth control is because I'm using it for pregnancy prevention. That being said, I really would like to get off of it and then just see where my body's at and see how I feel and everything. I don't think it's the right time. So no, I'm not using it with natural cycles. If I do go off, I probably would, but yeah. Have you ever questioned / explored your sexuality? Yes, definitely. To both of those. Will you be restocking the tote bags? If I were to restock any of the designs from the last merch drop, it would only be the tote bag. So actually I do have Time crew neck in both green and white and the hibernation crew neck are probably not coming back. There's still some in stock, but once those are sold out, those designs won't be coming back. So if you haven't gotten one yet and you would like to, definitely go for it because those designs aren't coming back. The tote bag would be the only thing from that drop that I would bring back because I love it. I use my tote bag all the time and you guys seem to really like them as well. So potentially, and then I got some questions about other merch drops or like future plans for merch drops. At the moment, I do have an idea. I don't know when it's gonna happen. I can't really move forward until I don't have any inventory left, and I do have inventory left from this past drop. The first drop in November sold out so fast that I really increased the size of the inventory for this one, and I still have some left. So I can't really, what is that noise? I can't really move forward until I don't have inventory left. But I do have a really cute idea that is themed around a different podcast episode that's already come out, and it's so cute. I have such a vision for it, so I would love to do that at some point in 2024. Why did you keep your wedding private? I feel like you went from talking about getting engaged to boom, you're married. Yeah, so we kept the wedding almost completely private, and it's still been pretty private. I haven't posted that many photos. Occasionally I'll post photos as it feels right. I have answered this question before a couple times. The biggest reason is because that's what felt right to do. That's what felt best for us, and it was, I think, the most stress-free way to go about it, and I wanted to respect my family's privacy, his family's privacy, our privacy. I wanted to respect just like how it's like such a big deal in your life. It's such a personal and intimate moment, and I just wanted it to be kept close between us and the people that we love the most, and I have no regrets about that. I know like wedding content is something like a lot of people love, and a lot of people got really angry at me after I announced that I had already gotten married. A lot of people were very angry with me for not sharing about it, and a lot of people DM'd me to say that they felt robbed and they felt like I had, I don't know, really just disappointed them. And that kind of sucked, but I still don't regret it because, again, it's like one of the most intimate moments of your life, and it's something I wanted to just keep really close to the heart. So that's why I have shared more about it, more photos and everything as time has gone on, and I'll probably keep continuing to do so, probably around the 1-year anniversary of the wedding. I might even do a wedding planning episode on the podcast. I was a very anxious bride. I think I'd like to talk about that, and things like that. I have wedding videos I've never shared. I have this one wedding transformation video that I did, you know those wedding videos where they film the getting ready and they do a getting ready transition. I have one of those and it's super cute. I actually found it the other day when I was looking through old videos. So I have that. Maybe I'll post it on the anniversary. I don't know. As more and more time goes on, it feels more comfortable to share more photos and things, but that's why I kept it private. That's why we kept it private. It was a decision that Matt and I made mutually. I knew about 8 months before the wedding that I wanted to keep it private, and that's why I stopped talking about wedding plans completely, because I didn't want people to feel like I had spent so much time talking about it and then I just didn't post. I thought that wouldn't be fair. So I stopped talking about the wedding completely 8 months beforehand, in the hopes that I wouldn't disappoint people, and I still did, but it felt like the right decision to me. And again, sometimes I don't know, I just want to make choices that feel aligned with who I am and feel genuine and authentic to me, and that was one of them. So wow, we've done a lot of questions, you guys. I only have one more written down here. Final things in the US you want to do. This is a fun question. Yeah, so not in the United States, but I've never visited Mexico, and I'm the closest I'm ever gonna get to Mexico, so I'd love to visit. I think honestly, the US is so big. It is so big, and visiting Scotland has really made me realize for the first time just how big the US is, because it's massive. Scotland has 5 million people in it, you guys. Population 5 million. The population of my home state of Virginia is 8 million. I just never, I don't know, I've grown up in the United States my entire life. I never really conceptualized how large it is geographically until I started traveling outside of the country more. So There's like never a way that I could visit everything I want to before I move. So I don't think I even want to try. I think I just want to make the most out of Virginia and DC. There's so many things in Nova and in Virginia that I want to do one more time before I go, and I think that's going to be my focus. First thing I want to do is I want to just go back to the Shenandoah for a weekend. I grew up going to the Blue Ridge and hiking in the Shenandoah Mountains, camping in the Shenandoah, and it's one of my favorite parts. Someone commented on my last video. I had heard this before, but I was reminded of it because there was a comment on my last video talking about how when the world was Pangea, Blue Ridge mountain range, like in the Appalachia, like that mountain range connected up to the mountains in Scotland when the world was Pangea, and then when the continents broke apart, and obviously they drifted apart, now they're separate. But a reason why the landscapes look so similar in the Blue Ridge and then in the Highlands is because they used to be the same mountain range. They used to be connected, which is such a crazy feeling of like, I don't know, I hear that, I think about that, and I'm like, oh my God, this was meant to be. It feels like a sign. I've actually learned in the past that there were a lot of Scottish immigrants who settled in the Blue Ridge because it reminded them of home. So I've read about that before. I think that's fascinating. Anyway, I just love the Blue Ridge so much, and I want to spend some more time there. So Matt and I are actually planning our anniversary weekend there because we can bring Fergus. We can just get an Airbnb and take Fergus, and Fergus will get to go on like his first hike. We'll do some hiking, just enjoy the nature and everything. It's only a 2-hour drive from where we live, so that's what I want to do. And then there's just so many restaurants in DC, and like, just, yeah. I think I want to just make the most out of where I am right now rather than try to hit so many different things in the US. I do know, because Matt and I have discussed this, say we're settled in the UK for a long time and we wanted to take a vacation in the US, like not coming back to see family or anything, but a vacation, we know that we will always love Seattle. We love Washington State. We almost moved there, and we just have such a deep love for it. Seattle is one of our favorite cities. I'm not a city girl, but if I had to move to a different city in the US, it would be to Seattle. I just love it. The sun is almost all the way down, and I'm almost out of my little drink. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it answered some questions that you may have had. If you are newer to my content, I hope this was a chance for you to get to know me better. Let me know what you'd like to see from my YouTube channel in 2024 down in the comments. And I can also try to answer any other questions you have down in the comments too. So yeah, there's my little catch up, all my life updates for 2024. I need to go start working on dinner now, but I love you guys, and I'll see you in another video very, very soon. Bye.